Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today we are back in the ring and we are talking about QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Desktop. Now I know you might be thinking, why are we even in the ring with these two? But just listen, just hear me out. We're gonna talk about a few things that I think is important for you guys to know, especially if you are considering which one is going to be better or more beneficial for your organization. Now, let me be clear. I am truly an advocate for using cloud accounting software, and thus I use QuickBooks Online, right? We use QuickBooks Online here at Visionary Accounting Group, but I am not naive. I recognize that there are certain instances where organizations may be better off using QuickBooks Desktop. And so while I think that those cases are in the minority, they should still be discussed because we want to go with what's best for your organization, not necessarily what my preference is, right? And so let's get on to the good stuff. Now, I'll start by saying this. Most organizations that are using QuickBooks Desktop tend to do so because that's already what they've been using. It is very rare that someone is starting a brand new organization and they go to the desktop version. Not because there's anything wrong with that, but because in today's day and age, cloud accounting, cloud software in general, right, is just much more popular and for a variety of reasons. And so I am going to start there because it is 2023. So we're going to talk about why are people gravitating right towards cloud accounting? And it really will touch on why we use it here as well. So the first reason is your organization is remote, right? If you don't have an office space, if you are working remote, meaning that you are virtual, 9 times out of 10, you are leaning towards tools that support that and make that easier. Hence, cloud accounting, right? Hence something that you are accessing via the internet and you don't have to be in the office. It is not living on any one person's computer, right? Or you don't have to go through logging in and trying to remote access, some desktop software. A lot of times, if you are remote or virtual, you're going to be looking for the tool that's going to be the easiest for you and your team to use. Now, in line with that notion is if you have a distributed team, right? So naturally, if you're working remote, your team is going to be distributed. When I worked internally at one of the last nonprofits before kind of venturing off, the accounting team was about 4 people and we worked remote, right? And I will be honest, it was a pain because back then we did use desktop software. It was a pain to access, right? A lot of jumping through hoops. And maybe because I'm a millennial, I looked for, the easy way to do it and wanted to lean more into cloud accounting because I knew it was a little bit more for those who were like tech savvy. But I will say the desktop felt like a heavy lift after a while. And so if your team is distributed, then you kind of want to get what's going to be easy, right? Because that's multiple users, because that's a whole nother topic. But with desktop, it's not the same when you want to have multiple users, right? And with QuickBooks Online, you can have those multiple users. You can set their permissions. You can determine how little or how much access you want them, to have. And then it's easy, right? Once you add them to the software, it's an easy access, right? And so that also kind of leans into the next point. If you don't notice, there's a theme here. All of these things relate. They all relate, honestly. Accessibility, number 3. Accessibility, right? If you have an internet connection, which I hope all of us do, but for the most part, everyone has an internet connection, you can easily just go to the website, log in, and boom, you have access. And so that is what a lot of people like to lean into, is the fact that there aren't those hoops that you have to jump through in order to access the desktop software, right? It's just easy, right? And I know I kind of keep harping on that, but what I've noticed and what I've learned is that if something is difficult to use, hard to access, people do not access it, they do not use it, or they do the very bare minimum in that software. And that is not what we want. We want people to be able to maximize use of the software. We want them to be logging in, accessing it, and we want them to be well-versed on how to use that software in order to do their job. The next point is integration possibilities. Now, if you are into software, right? We're not just talking about cloud accounting software now. We're not just talking about QuickBooks. But if you tend to build out, or if it is your goal, right, to be building out a tech stack, essentially you want other tools that are going to speak to the software that you're using for your accounting. What I love about QuickBooks Online is its ability to integrate with other software, whether it be a donor management tool, whether it be a bill pay tool, whether it be a payroll tool. Like, the ability for these tools to be able to talk to each other helps us here at Visionary to create a seamless accounting process for our clients. And so that is actually one of my favorite things about being able to leverage cloud accounting software. And so if that is something that does interest you and that is where you see your organization headed, then clearly QuickBooks Online is going to be the superior choice. And lastly, in line with that is if you are leaning into automation and choosing, right, to be tech forward, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? You're going to lean into the software that allows you to do that allows you to move away from more manual reporting, right? That allows you to truly lean in and being able to set up rules and use those rules, right? And being able to, leverage these automations like the bank feed, being able to create templates and automatically send out reports and things of that nature, right? And so the other part of that is, like, if there's something that the tool doesn't do, because it does also have those integration possibilities, you can link it to a tool that does it, right? And so it makes for a more seamless and comprehensive process versus having to use a bunch of different things to try to make them speak to each other, or having to be manual or lean in a spreadsheet because they just don't speak to each other. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I could keep going, but I'm not. But as you can see, there are many advantages of using QuickBooks Online, but I will say that there are also some disadvantages, right? In some cases or some ways it is limited, right? There are quirks and tweaks, sometimes the system is down and that means you can't access it or something like that. Like, I'm not naive to that. Sometimes it really can just be annoying, but that's technology for you, right? And so I'm not going to say it is, oh my gosh, the best tool out there, there's never any issues. No, there are issues sometimes, and sometimes it will, get on your nerves. Sometimes it will put you behind, right? But that's the nature of using technology. And with any software that you use, you're going to encounter issues and bugs. But the hope is that it gets fixed. And one of the things that I really like about Intuit is that as an accountant, as a pro advisor, when we make suggestions, when we complain about things, they take it very seriously to implement and to fix and to better the tool. And so that is another reason why I truly enjoy using it. Now, if you're thinking about, well, when should you use desktop? A lot of times you want to think about, well, where's the organization going? Is it new? Is it old, right? What is your strategic plan in the next couple of years? So what I find is that, again, most people that are using QuickBooks Desktop already have it installed. They already have it in place. So typically they like to just continue using it because it is Intuit's legacy product and they are legacy users. And so for them, it's like, they are resistant to change. And if you're going to be resistant to change, if you're not into technology, if you're not wanting to leverage automations, if you're not interested in integrating with other softwares, then QuickBooks Desktop may be the better choice for you, right? If you are tracking inventory, if you need higher, advanced, more customized reporting, QuickBooks Desktop is superior there. I will not lie, it is absolutely superior there. Personally, I use a separate tool for reporting, right? And so that is a part of what I mentioned before, our tech stack. But if you are wanting things to be all in one, if you are wanting to manage the majority of your data in that one tool, then desktop is going to be better because it does have more capabilities from that standpoint. And so when you think about managing donor data, when you think about those customized reports, QuickBooks Desktop is going to be superior. All in all, it really is preference, but the things that you want to consider, right, is the future growth of your organization, the complexity of it, the size and its needs, right? And so at Visionary, we are really leaning into technology, right? So it's not just cloud accounting tools, but it's also AI. We are really leaning into being tech forward. And so we like to work with firms who are. So by nature, QuickBooks Online works for that. So we are not non-advocates, right, of QuickBooks Desktop. It's just for where our company is headed and the organizations that we work with. QuickBooks Online serves us better. So if you are wanting to utilize tech to manage your organization, to grow your organization, then QuickBooks Online is going to be the better tool for you, and that is why it is the better tool for us. But if you are a legacy organization and you are already using desktop, or even if you're not a legacy organization, but you know that you have more advanced needs from a reporting standpoint and the ability to be able to customize, then Desktop is going to be the better software for you. But what I would say is don't be hasty. You want to first think about what the organization needs and let that lead you to which software is better for you, and not just jump into what I say, right, or what you read online, because you know your organization best, you know its goals best, right? You know where you're headed best. And so it's important to take that into consideration first and then choose which software you are going to use. Now, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, if you want me to dig into any specifics, please let me know down in the comments. We have a wait list open. So I've been getting asked, like, do we do consulting? What type of work do we do? We are an accounting firm that specifically services nonprofit organizations, and we provide you with controller and audit prep services. We have a wait list up right now, so you can click the link, join the wait list, and we will be opening up, taking new clients in Q4. And so if you know that you are ready to outsource your accounting, then you may want to talk to us because we want to see if we're a good fit. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.